Part -11. What do you mean by fossil fuel? Explain any one in detail with its formation, benefits and limitations. November 2021. 2. Explain the formation of coal, natural gas and petroleum. 3. Explain the benefits and limitations of coal, natural gas and petroleum. 4. What do you mean by renewable energy? List its types and explain. 5. How solar energy and wind energy is generated? Explain its benefits and limitations. 6. How geothermal energy and hydroelectric energy is produced? Give its benefits and limitations. 7. Write short notes on biomass energy production, hydrogen energy with its benefits and limitations. Fuel cell 8. Why renewable energy has a sustainable development? Explain. 9. Explain present Indian and international energy scenario of conventional and resources. 10. Explain in detail about various resources available. 11. Describe the various renewable energy resource available in India and its potential to supplement the conventional energy sources. November 2020. 12. Discuss the present status of world energy scenario. Criticize the energy planning issues aiming to bridge the gap between the energy demand and supply situation in India. November 2020. 13. Explain the impact of environmental consequences of solar PV systems. November 2021. Unit 2 Part B, C404.2. 1. Explain in detail about the construction and components of wind energy conversion system, WECS. 2. Explain various types of wind power plants. 3. Write short notes on vertical axis wind turbines and horizontal axis wind turbines. 4. Derive the equation for the total power available in the wind. Define Betzer's limit. 5. Explain in detail about the grid connection issues in wind power plants. 6. Explain the working and operation of PMSG-based WECS with neat block diagram. 7. Explain the working and operation of doubly fed induction generator-based WECS with neat block diagram. 8. Clearly explain the principle of WECS with neat block diagram. November 2020. Discuss the various considerations taken into account for site selection of a wind energy system. November 2020. November 2021. 9. Explain the peak power tracking scheme in WECS. November 2020. Explain the working of grid-tied WECS with neat diagram. November 2020. 10. Wind at 1 standard atmospheric pressure and 15 degrees Celsius temperature has a velocity of 10 meters sec. The turbine has diameter of 120 meters and its operating speed in 40 revolutions per minute at maximum efficiency. Calculate I. The total power density in the wind stream E. The maximum obtainable power density assuming ether equals 40% E. The total power produced in kWiV. The torque and axial thrust. November 2020. 11. Explain in detail about Type A and Type B wind power plants. November 2021. 12. Calculate the power converter from the wind, if blade length, L equals 52 meters, wind speed, V equals 12 meters, sec, air density, ρ equals 1.23 kilograms per meter 3 and power coefficient, C ρ equals 0.4. Calculate the length of blade that would be needed to produce the same power by a marine turbine as produced by the wind turbine in the above problem. Take density of water as 1000 kilograms per cubic meter. November 2021, Unit 3. Describe in detail about the different methods of solar energy storage systems. Explain and derive expression for beam and diffuse radiation. Demonstrate the working of a pieheliometer and pyranometer. Describe extraterrestrial and terrestrial solar radiation. With a schematic diagram, explain the structure of medium-temperature solar power plant. Explain the working of solar water pumping system. November 2020, explain the algorithm for maximum power point tracking. Also discuss the necessary conditions while synchronizing the PV system with grid supply. November 2020, examine the working principle of various types of concentrating solar collectors with neat sketch. November 2021, demonstrate the operation of solar cell with equivalent circuit and its IV characteristics. November 2021, examine the working principle of various types of flat plate solar collectors with neat sketch. Explain in detail how solar energy can be effectively utilized in day-to-day life. Draw an illustrative diagram showing all the important components of solar heating and solar cooling unit. Unit 4.1. Describe in detail the construction and working of various types of biogas plants. State the merits and demerits of the biogas power plant. November 2021. 2. Write short notes on E. Energy from industrial and municipal waste. B. Applications of bioenergy. 3. What is the principle involved in the production of biogas and what is the chemical composition of the gas? What are the various applications of this gas? Draw a sketch to illustrate the constructional features of a typical biogas plant and describe its operation. 4. Draw a schematic diagram of biogas power plant and explain its operation. State and justify the potential of this in satisfying energy demand of our country. 5. Explain briefly the components of a biogas plant. Explain with neat diagram the working of a cogeneration plant. November 2020. 6. Compare the advantages and disadvantages of power generation from industrial wastes, municipal waste and agricultural wastes. How do we get energy from various types of wastes? 7. How are biogas plant classified? Explain continuous and batch type plants and compare them with regard to operation and efficiency. 8. Write short notes on a continuous type plant. B. Flexible dome type plant. 9. List out the various points to be carried out for selection of site for a biogas plant. 10. Write briefly on power production from agricultural waste. Draw relevant sketches and point out the relative merits of this technique. What is meant by cogeneration? How they are classified? Explain its principles. 11. Explain the theory of the origin of geothermal energy. Draw the layout of geothermal power plant and explain its operation. 12. Explain with neat diagram the working of a geothermal power plant. With neat layout explain the working of hydroelectric power plant. November 2020, 2021, 13. Draw the schematic and explain the vapor-dominated geothermal plant. 14. Draw the layout of the micro-hydro scheme and explain its components. What are its advantages and disadvantages? 15. Write briefly on power production from agricultural waste. Draw relevant sketches and point out the relative merits of this technique. 16. The hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell operates at 25 degrees Celsius. Calculate the voltage output of the cell, the efficiency and the electric work output per mole of H2 consumed and per mole of H20 produced. Also compute the heat transferred to the surroundings. Given delta H degree 298 kelvins equals minus 285,838 kilojoules per kilogram mole, delta G degree 298 kelvins equals minus 237,191 kilojoules per kilogram mole. November 2020. Unit -51. Explain in detail the general arrangements for generating units in tidal power plants. What are its merits and demerits? November 2020. 2. Describe the construction and working principle of geothermal power plants in detail. Enumerate the advantages and disadvantages of geothermal plant. 3. What is hydrogen fuel cell? Explain the principle of working. November 2021. 4. Compare tidal power plant with geothermal power plant. With relevant diagram, explain the operation of tidal power plant. 5. Explain in detail any one type of geothermal power plant. Compare its efficiency with tidal power plant. 6. Define tidal plant. With a neat sketch, explain the working principle of two-pool tidal system. 7. Draw and explain the following cycles: a. Open OTECB. Closed OTEC. November 2020, 2021. 8. What is wave energy? Explain the wave energy components with neat diagram. List out its merits and demerits. 9. Explain in detail about energy storage systems. 10. Describe briefly with block diagram about PV, hydro hybrid system with neat diagram. Explain in detail about a solar wind diesel hybrid system with storage. November 2021.